Alright, hello. I am going to try and do a very quick decode. I, this this is good. I say quick, it's probably going to take a little while, but it is interesting. We're going to touch on this Turkey Syria earthquake thing, and we're also going to go ahead and touch on the Tyre Nichols thing as well. Okay, and we're just gonna let's just jump straight into it. And what I'm going to say straight off the bat is I'm going to be using this table here. Okay, this is for new people. This is a chart that I use, and basically it's just a bunch of Fibonacci type numbers. So the golden ratio is heavily encoded in this chart, and we can look at certain patterns in the chart, and we can draw certain conclusions about certain numbers. Okay, if you want to know more on it, go look at my back video catalog and look up the chart that predicts the future explained. That video will get you started on this chart. Otherwise, you can just listen along and, I don't know, try and make sense of it all as I go. But with that being said, where do I even want to start with this kind of decode? I guess let's start with Tyre Nichols. The first thing to note is the name. Okay, Tyre Nichols. This to me says Tyre. Okay, and I believe this spelling is deliberately like this for a reason. The idea of the tire being, it's basically a ring, isn't it? A tire is a ring. It's on the outside of a wheel, okay? And initially when I looked at this, I'm thinking biblical reference with the place Tyre, because again, Tyre is a walled, I think it's a walled city. And again, that's that ring protecting the inner part of the city. That wall that comes around is the same idea as the ring, the coronal ring, the crown of thorns. Yeah, what happens is when you go into the city-state or the castle or whatever behind that wall, now you're under the jurisdiction of that entity, whatever that entity is. It's the same idea with going back into the womb, back into the little pod in the matrix, back behind, being trapped behind the dam or trapped behind the wall. Whatever, it's all the same symbolism, okay, of being inside that city state, being inside the legal system. Okay, so the tire is the ring, it is the crown, it is the crown of thorns, should I say. It's the coronal ring that controls us, okay, when we're in that state, right? So the tire is important. The reference to Tyre is important, and I was thinking, initially I was just thinking the biblical reference of that place being destroyed, a bit like Sodom and Gomorrah. So, again, that's initially what I was thinking. But then I got to thinking about, well, what is the basic idea of a tire? And the basic idea of a tire is it's just a ring that's on the outside of a wheel. Okay, and so I'm liking that idea, And then nickels, of course, other people have said this. The nickel is the 5-cent piece. Okay, so we have 5 encoded here. So now we have 5 rings, a bit like the 5 Olympic rings. But what I'm thinking is with this ring, with this circle, with the tire, I'm thinking pi. Okay, I'm thinking 3.14. I'm thinking the number 3 right here, and I'm thinking the number 5 right here. I'm thinking 335, just like the birth year of Elvis, just like the 35 with the design, the 1935 with the design of the $1 bill, or at least part of the $1 bill. I'm thinking 1935 when the Hoover Dam is dedicated. So 135 is super important, and we'll go back to the table in a minute and we'll look at how that ties into the table. But when we just come down through here, again, January the 7th is when he gets beaten. Okay. Again, if we do some flipping backwards and forwards now with the table, I've actually got it in paint, so we can do a bit of scribbling on here. What was I just saying? 117. I want you to note where 17 shows up. Look, 17 next to each other. There's 71 next to each other, and it does the same thing here. This table, there's a 7, and if we just count on, you know, if we were just to say 7 1 3 2 9 3 7 etc. 7 1 is the next thing here. So there's 7 1. And it's actually a 713 that appears both times. That's important as well. But it kind of appears on this L right here. Okay, it's at one end of it here, and it's at one end of it here. Okay, so this is important to be noting right now. Okay, so the 717 again. Just talking about Diana the other day. You know, her birthday is 17, right? So 17, super important. Again, if you go back to, sorry, this is going to be a lot of jumping backwards and forwards, but if we go back to this now, look what numbers they're throwing out for the time, approximate time of 8:21 p.m. Okay, I don't know, you know, approximate time of 1:28, but this is when he 1:28. Five police officers stopped him, and I'm guessing, from what I heard about it, he was, I don't know if it's, basically said something to the effect to the cops that he just wanted to get home. Okay, and this idea of that struck home to me because of the idea of coming home, coming back to God. All right, because this is what the whole story is about: is when you return back to God, that's when you're free from the matrix again. Okay, so but this interesting 821. 821 right here. Okay, look what it's right next to, the 713 again. Okay, so you know, we can start picking out some interesting stuff here, you know, with these numbers and where they're at in the table and what they kind of reference next to. All right, now where do I want to go? So he actually ends up dying on 3 days later. He dies on the 10th. Okay, and I just want to note also that they've really been pushing this, the 27th, January the 27th. Here's the 29-year-old. He's 29 years old. Okay, so there's some stuff in here as well that's, you know, this January 27th super important as well. Okay, this is why they did the release on that day and did a big, you know, hoo-ha about it all. Again, if we go to the dartboard now, actually, let's just whip to the dartboard, because I use the dartboard quite a bit as well. Here's our 127 day, and look what it's right next to. Okay, the 713, the 137 number again. Okay, so you're seeing some like stuff kind of joining together very interestingly. Okay, if you're not familiar with my dartboard decodes, that might not make a lot of sense to me just saying, well, that number's next to this number, but for regular people that watch a channel, you know, this is interesting. What was the other number as well? I can't remember now. So 127 and what did I want to? No, hang on. I don't know where I'm going here. So 127 and the 29 as well, right here. Okay, there's the 29. Okay, so again, you can also put in 127. Okay, and so we're getting the 29 here, and we're getting also another 1-3 reference, because we're just coming down and going across this lupus number row, because this is the middle of the table. So what we're looking for, the idea of being free is about being balanced. So what we're looking for is, we're always looking for numbers that are referencing right at the center of this table. Okay, like this 18 becoming a 9, 11. Okay, these two numbers are also 29. So this is important, and this 1-3, again, all to do with the cycle of pi. Okay, where is the balance point when you're spinning around on the roundabout? Yeah, on the carousel. The balance point is right at the center of that thing. Otherwise, you're getting flung off. Okay, otherwise you're out of balance. Okay, the same way as this set of numbers here, the 713. You could turn those into letters and spell out lie. Okay, and if you're not balanced, okay, so if you're balanced, that is the truth. Okay, that's where you're at a point of where everything is truthful. Once you step out of that balance point, once you step away from the center bullseye, okay, and you get on, the carousel starts flinging you out. Okay, the merry-go-round is flinging you out to the outside edge. Everything from that balance point, from the center balance point, everything out from there is just increasing lies. Okay, you're getting further away from truth the further out you go. Okay, so this is important with the 713. You know, the 37 of L, you're the one that's in there, and what you have to be careful of is that the one, that yourself, that you don't create that lie. Okay, from God, basically, from the power that God has given you, which is being able to delve into the metaphysical realm. Okay, that's our great power. That's what makes us like God. The idea of being creative, being able to use our noggin to generate ideas, and then from there manifest different things into the physical reality, the physical world around us. So anyway, without getting too waffly, because I've got quite a bit still to get through here, so we can see some of these numbers, and so it's pretty interesting, right? So if we jump to, let's jump to the Turkey thing, because we're going to start seeing some overlap. Okay, again with the name Turkey, we've got the T, the R, the E, and the Y of Tyre again. Okay, just interesting little overlap there. Same part of the world almost. Tyre, I mean, I don't know if you can see on this map, but Tyre's down here somewhere. Again, the Noah's Ark came to rest somewhere over here at Ararat, so I'm getting this kind of, you know, the idea of I don't know, the cleansing of the earth right now, and referencing back to this area where, you know, Noah's Ark comes to rest. Okay, out here in this side of Turkey over here, near Armenia again. Again, the arm, and Georgia, the idea of the earth being at the center of the balance point, like the Georgia's cross. I don't know. Again, you can do a bunch of different references with Turkey. You know, like the reference to Christmas, the Christmas bird, also Thanksgiving. So it's a very good reference to America. Turnkey, everything in the system is turnkey, you know, but this is what you have to do to become free. You have to put the key in the lock and turn the key. You have to unlock we have to unlock the truth, basically, which shouldn't be confused with another thing like unlocking Pandora's box, okay, and letting that thing out, okay. So, and again, Pandora is well, that's not Pandora, but Pandora's box. The idea, the thing that's let out of Pandora's box is again that ability, is our ability to generate ideas, basically. And from there, once you let that thing out of the box, once you don't think about keeping that thing in balance, that's when we end up in an out of control matrix. The world in which we've built goes out of control. Okay. Oh, okay. Let's look at the epicenter here, because of course the epicenter, the bullseye, is this. Here it is. The bullseye is where we really want to be. Yeah, that's the balance point. That's the point where everything is peaceful and calm, like the center of the storm. Okay. You know, when you watch the water go down the drain hole, yeah, if you're in that whirlpool, you're going around and round and upside down and all around the place. If you just were to stand right in the middle of that where there isn't anything, yeah, it's peaceful, calm. Same at the center of the hurricane, center of the tornado, peaceful and calm at the center of the thing. That is where balance is, okay? So we want to look at the epicenter is what I'm trying to get at here, because the epicenter is going to be important, okay? And the epicenter is 37, again, that L number again. Now my belly's rumbling. And I don't know if that came out on the video, but 37.166 degrees north and 37.032 degrees east. So that is absolutely insane that we have the 37 referenced twice. Okay, so we go back to the chart and we got the 32, 23 and the 166. So I'm going to start drawing some lines on this thing now. Again, this 26, the date that this thing happens, this is important, okay? And I'm going to tie this, we're going to really start looking at this L number now, and so this stuff will start popping up, okay? So, the L number, the 37 or 73, okay? The first place I want to start, before we even get into that, right? Of course, we've got this right here, and we've got it right here. And what I want to, 713, okay? And it pops up several different places on here, okay? 3 and a 7 here as well, okay? Where else did it pop up? Right here, okay? What's interesting about this, okay? Remember the Tyre, remember the 3 of the 314 of pi, which is the start of here, okay? So our 3 reference and our 7 reference here with this part of the chart. Remember I say you can kind of do this a bit like a times table. 3, 7 is coming up here. If we come down and come across, it's right on 3, 7 again. That is super significant, okay? Get rid of some of this because otherwise we'll end up with a real mess. So that is super significant. Again, if we come over to the 14th column here, 377 shows up right here, okay? We're on the 0, so I would just call this 0, I'd just call this 14. Remember our Zeta square with the 14 at the center of it? Okay, so this is pretty interesting right here, because this is just a 14 reference here. This isn't like a 214 or 34, it's not a 2, 3 or 5, 14 with those other numbers. It's just 14, like the center with the n at the center of the Zeta square, okay? So that's pretty important. Like the clock tower, yeah, 1004, referencing maybe this number here, 377, and let me show you what that is. In fact, I'm not going to show you, I'm going to tell you. that the 7,730 day jump from 9/11/2001 takes you to the 10th of November, which is the 314th day of the year. Okay, so 7,730 days from 9/11/2001 takes you to this day, which is November the 10th, and it's all about completion of a cycle. Okay, right here. Okay, so you see these numbers that are in this column: completion of a cycle, 55. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 157. Here's the 57 here again. 570, so we have 57, and the 225. Okay, so it's pretty important that this is completion of a cycle. This is to do with a cycle here. You know, I mean, I could just, I mean, I'll just waffle on for hours about this stuff. Really, the more I look at it, the more this table becomes interesting. It just is. It's just absolutely insane. So this 37 shows up. You know, not only is it like double emphasized here, not only is it part of this big L, which is a big 7, you know, right here with the 713 and the 713 and the 37 in that column. You know, it's in this table quite a bit. Okay, and it's, you know, referenced pretty interestingly. So what I was talking about, that 7,730 day jump right here, again, we can put in the day jump from 9/11/2001 for Turkey for the earthquake, which is right here, which is 7/8/18. And what's interesting is this 8/18 is right here. Again, kind of close. This is the center of the table right here. Okay, and it's pretty close right here. Okay, so that's interesting, and it's also part of 781, which is part of this line right here, with not a very straight line, which joins up to this line right here, and of course we have this other line coming through this other way, which makes a cross, and I call that the cross of St. Andrew, the metaphysical cross that's in here. This is as well coming this way, but this is the cross of St. Andrew, I believe. And again, 7,810 day jump is takes us to, from 9/11/2001, takes us to the 29th of January this year. Okay, so the 29th of January, and then this other date here, this other number jump here, 7,910 days, takes us to the 9th of May. This will become important in a minute, because we're gonna look at another diagonal line here in just a second. But you see, oops, but you see, you know, this connects to this here, yeah, this lot, right? This connects. Okay, get rid of some of this. So that connects to there, and then when we look at Tyre Nichols numbers, 7788, which is pretty interesting, because we're going to do a number jump in a minute with the 88. But the 7788, again, 7 and the 8, again, here we go with the 37 and the 6, okay, and the 29 and the 47, again, 47, Independence Day, okay, and 29 is these two numbers here, okay, combined perfectly. Okay, what else we got here with the Tyre Nichols? So that's the day he gets his beating, okay, and then he dies 7791, okay, from 9/11. Okay, now again, 7791, let me show you where that shows up. Here's our 7791. Okay, same set of numbers here, which is in the 11 column. Again, the 11 column with the Queen's death, burial, birthday. Okay, so again, this is a total. These green numbers are totals for these columns. Okay, and you can see this set of numbers, the numerology here is the same as here. Okay, pretty much. Okay, and the other place that shows up, again, with the earthquake here, with Tyre Nichols here with the 7788. Okay, this set of numbers here. Okay, and this is the other set of numbers on that same cross here. And again, 33, the resurrection, death and resurrection of Christ coming across, and then we're going to look at this 23 and this 53 here. Again, these are mirrors of one another. 23 and 53 is a mirror of one another. Okay, let me show you. If I could just write 23, okay, and then if you write 53, okay, you can see there's a mirror line running through here. Okay, those are mirrors of one another. That's important. Okay, because this is going to show up again with another mirror line here in just a second. So let me get rid of that stuff. Okay, I know I'm going to forget a bunch of stuff out of here, but let's go to the actual date of the of the earthquake, right? So there's a couple of things I want to connect it to. The first thing is this number that's at the bottom of this table, right, is the spring equinox. Okay, that's the resurrected sun at Christmas in balance. Okay, it's not completely, you know, Christmas would be completely dead and then reborn, and then the middle of the summer, whatever date the summer solstice is on this year, I don't know, but whatever date that is would be fully risen. Okay, but what we're looking at is we want to look at the balance point between those 2 points, which is March the 20th this year. Okay, and that happens to fall right in between this day, this number jump, and this number jump. Okay, the 129 of the 29th of January and the 9th of May. Okay, that is 50 days from here. That takes us to the center here, and then 50 days on takes us to the, did I say the 5th of May? The 9th of May. Okay, so that is important. Now look, what I've been doing is, you know, I've said before, like, you know, if I have a double number, a repeated number, I'm okay with just reducing this, like this 33 back down to a 3. But if you sum this together, okay, this is a 620, okay, or a 62, or a 26, okay, right at the bottom of this table, 26, okay, and the day of the earthquake, again, 26, all right. I'll put that back in there, leave that. So that's important, that that 26, yeah, this 26 here, this 26 ties back into the spring equinox and to the center of this number jump here, okay, with the 320. Okay, remember we had, with those coordinates, one of those coordinates was 32, yeah, 37.032 or whatever it was. Again, important. Again, the 2, 3, and this number here also important with the 2, 3. Okay, and then we had the ones, and so anyway, hang on, before I get onto that, let me show you where else with the L, with the 3, 7, where this 26 shows up, because if we can just draw around this 6 here, and here's our 3, 7, for our coordinates, and here is our again, what I'm doing here is I'm going to remove this 3 here because it's a duplicate of this 3, and I've got my 2 here. Okay, so a little bit of fudgery, but because that's a repeated 3, it's just my personal take on this, but I don't mind removing it because it's a repeat. Okay, so again, this 2 6 is on either side here as well, and then again with this 7 1 3, okay, we've got another 6 on this side and a 2 on this side here. So the 26, I mean, it's showing up, you know, on either side of 7 3s. You know, I mean, it's not too. This is not too crazy, I don't think. Again, this 7 1 3. This is a bit more fudging. We've got the 29 below it. You know, when we're coming this way, again, 6 to 9, 9 to 6. Switch those things around. Again, I don't mind doing that either. So this 26 reference with the 713, okay. Yes, 2 13s are 26 as well. So, but let me show you something else that's interesting. Get rid of that lot. Hang on a minute. I don't know if I had well, while I'm here, 2 6 here, right? The 2 6 again with the Tyre Nichols on the 7th of January, the 1 7, like Diana. Again, here's Diana's death date with the referencing with the 2 6 here. Okay, the 831. Okay, so that's interesting as well. I don't want to make this too complicated, but Diana, you see, what's interesting about that is the Diana thing. Again, she's really closely tied to this the 7 1, okay, and the 7 1 3. You know, here's the 1661. She was born 61. What else do I have with? I don't know. Anyway, but you know, I mean, I just, you know, it's interesting the way some of this stuff ties together. What else did I want to show you guys? Okay, so what I want to do, let's change to like a light blue now, and I want to draw a line in here, okay? Because this is going to be like a reflection line, okay? So what we're doing is we're drawing a diagonal line in, and it's pointing towards 55. And remember, 55 is here in our total for this lot. So 55 is a completion number, and 55 is also our total for this metaphysical column here. So 55, super duper important, okay? Now, this is a reflection line, right? And the reason why this is interesting is because, actually, I'll just tell you something right now, right? Is because originally, the reason why I've got these in red here, this one up here and this 4 here, is because there's a little pattern in here. And in my early decodes, I called this like the 88 or the 4-leaf clover, okay? Because it comes around like this, like a 4-leaf clover or an 88 that's got, if you follow what I'm saying, like the 88 on top of the 88, yeah. 2 analemmas over the top of one another, bit like having the sun and the moon combined, okay? And it just made like a little cross, and I'm thinking 4-leaf clover, and then I was thinking $2, you know, one point is $2 bill, you know, and on the $2 bill, that's all about independence, you know, and here's Independence Day here, you know, tied into it, 4-7, okay? So the whole thing with the $2 bill the reason why I bring up the 4-leaf clover is because there's a little pattern on the $2 bill that is kind of like a 4-leaf clover. Okay, the $2 bill, 4-leaf clover, 4-7, and that's what they're signing, the Declaration of Independence. So we've got Independence Day on the back of the $2 bill, basically. And so that was interesting, you know, that this pattern was in here, the 88 pattern. Okay, and so 88, of course, is important because 88 is our other total for the physical side of things. And again, if we go, so remember this L number took us to November, yeah, the 10th. Okay, and when we go from November the 10th now, that is a number that is on the dollar bill. Okay, that number is on the dollar bill, encoded on the dollar bill, and it's the 314th day of the year. Okay, now let's do a number jump, right? Let's go 88 days from November the 10th. Okay, double check this. It's the 6th of February, the day of this earthquake. Okay, so already I'm thinking, this is very, very interesting now, because when we add another 55 onto that, okay, 143, which we were just looking at the start of that with the 13488 thing, okay, that takes us up to 42. Okay, the 2nd of April. Okay, and let me show you something else with this one. Okay, so 88 plus 55 is the 143, which takes you up to 42. Now, if you look at 42 in here and then come down to Lucas numbers again, 42 is 37, referencing 37. So that was interesting as well. So 42 references 37 in here. Okay, and again, if you look at this 42 here as well, hang on, let me get rid of this stuff because it just gets way too complicated. Okay, now look at this. This is 24, or yeah, look at what it references next to it, 37 again. You know, I mean, at this point it's starting to look a little bit insane, this chart. I mean, it's just like, oh, 42 is referencing this now, and it's referencing it here as well. It's absolutely nuts, you know. So anyway, let me get rid of that. But there's also another number jump that you can do, which is this 139. Okay, and the 139 is essentially kind of the same number as this 143. It's the total for this column. But because this number line here is just going up and is not doing the Fibonacci type sequence, right? When you total up these at the bottom, okay, these totals do not, what I'm saying is this total here, this 139, is not the total of 55 and 88, okay? It's just the total for this column, and it's messed up because this is going up in just the regular number order, okay? So the point of that is, though, let me get rid of some of this stuff off here, otherwise I won't be able to delete it, and then we'll have a trouble. Then we'll have a lot of trouble because I won't be able to go back and get rid of some of this stuff, and we'll have a right scribbly mess on our hands. But what I'm saying is, it's kind of the same number, okay? It's referencing the same idea. This is the total for this column, 139, and 143 is just the total of these two columns. They just add up slightly differently, okay? And there's an interesting reference with 17 again with this as well, because these two add up to 11, and that 11 converts back to a 7 here, and that's what knocks off the four difference here, because this would be an 11 if we were adding it up in the Fibonacci method. Okay, that's why there's that discrepancy there. But 139 is to do with, you know, balance again with this total column here. These two come in together again. Okay, and it shows up, you know, in the 9 column here. So of course it shows up with this 139 shows up here, and the total for this column is 35, just like what we've got going on here with the 53 across from here, which again I said this is a mirror of this, and it's just right here underneath the 37 here. So this 53 is super tied to the 37. Okay, if you can follow all this. So if we do a 139 day jump now, that was a lot of effort to get to. I've got something stuck in my throat right now. I apologise for coughing so much. So if I do a 139 day jump, look where it takes me. 329, right? March the 29th. Again, March the 29th. Let me go down to March the 29th. March the 29th, the 88th day of the year. Okay, so that's just super, you know, interesting. And again, with April, it's the 92nd. April the 2nd, sorry, is 92nd day of the year. Yeah, the 9-2 or the 2-9, the 29. So, you know, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but hang on a minute. No, hang on a minute. Turkey's name change. When did they change? When did they adopt the? When did Turkey adopt the name change? Well, they adopted it when they became a republic on the 29th of October, 129. Again, that's our 7,810 day jump from 9/11, 129, and it's also encoded in the dollar bill as the tier fold, what I call the tier fold. So this 129 again ties back into Turkey, and that name change again, which has now just been recognized by, I don't know, whoever, the rest of the world. But it's interesting we've got two different names, because let's just go over to this table here of gematria numbers, gematrinator, sorry. And what I've done is I've put the two different spellings for Turkey in. Okay, we've got some interesting numbers. 109, 100. Again, the 100 day jump that we, you know, which is again is the middle of that is the 320 of the equinox, 50 days each way. Excuse me, there's several different numbers in here that's interesting. We've got the 35, okay, which is again ties into this L number very, very nicely, the 5335, and again Elvis's birth year, 35, the Hoover Dam dedicated, 35, the dollar bill, 1935 design. What other 35s are there? I mean, there's, you know, the list goes on, and we've got several other little things, but this 44 shone out to me, and in the new spelling of Turkey, which is not that new really, but the 37 is in there, okay. And so with this 44 and 37, there's another interesting thing in the chart, okay. And this brings me to this mirror line right here, okay, that I was trying to get to earlier, okay. So you can see this was the 88 here, okay, and you know 134 added up, you know, 1 plus 3 plus 4 is 8, and so that's why that was an 88 and a 4-leaf clover, okay. And so, but what we've got going on here, let's go to dark blue, we've got a reflection, okay, like this 11 here, this 1 and 1 is reflected, yeah, this 2 is reflected with this 2, okay. We don't have a reflection there, okay, and we've got a 3 and a 3 reflected there, okay, And now you can see where we got some bits that aren't reflected, like this 1 5 here is reflected with a 2 and a 4 over here, but that is interesting, because when you're going in reverse in the year, you know, our 50th day of the year, let me show you this real quick, November, and our 50th day of the year is 11/11, Remembrance Sunday. Okay, remember 11/11. Okay, this is our bullseye, number 50. Okay, 5 of the Holy Spirit. Okay, so 50 is super important. Look, 315 ties into it here. Okay, and here's our 11/10 of November the 10th, which is in the dollar bill. 314, 51, the day before. Okay, the day before the 4 pillars. Again, 11/11. There's the 4 pillars at the Hoover Dam. Okay, the 4 pillars on the front of the courthouse. Okay, and Back to the Future, at Graceland, at all the Greco-Romanesque type buildings and temples and everything else. Okay, so this 51 again is opposing another date. Okay, which is the 24th. Okay, the 24th, which is the eve, coming up to the eve is the matrix, yeah, and then the day of the birth of Christ, the 25th, 2 lots of 25, a 50. But again, this is, you know, we got 51 and 24 reflecting on each other. Okay, this is what I'm trying to get to, is that one's an eve date and one is the day of, okay, the event or whatever. Okay, go back to this. Okay, so oh yeah, what am I doing? Okay, so these two dates are reflecting one another. Okay, again, what have we got here? We've got a 14 or 41, you know, reflecting back to the 43 or 34. But what we have here is this 44, yeah, that I was just going on about with the 37. So this 44 is crossing this kind of, let's get rid of some of this. It's getting a bit complicated. Yeah, remember that the 14 this way and this way is reflected, which again is a 14, is a reference back to 377. Okay, and again we had that the spy balloon started off in Montana, yeah, 4-1 reference, again 10:04 on the clock tower. Okay, the 10:10 of the Zeta Square, the 14 that's at the center of that thing. Okay, blimey now. And again, 1-4, 1-4 here, 1-7. Okay, and again that 1-7 is part of this number here. Blimey now. Okay, but here's our 4-4. That was again referencing back to our 3-7 with the gematria there. Okay, what's interesting is, okay, when we come back to here, what else have we got? We've got some other numbers that kind of, I don't want to get too bogged down with this, but this 7997, which shows up here as well, and again this is again with the total here, 139 total, and the 35 again here, and this again with the 197 917 numbers here, again right here as well, reflecting across from one another. Okay, I don't, I don't know really how much more I want to say about this, but this 135 that's down the center of here, you know, here's a, sorry, 135, and then again it's repeated again, 513. You know, these are this is the 5-3. Here's the mirror of that 5-3. Here's the one at the center there, 153, coming on this diagonal here across from 33. Okay, so I mean, it's absolutely, this is pretty insane here. I don't know what else to say about it. There's a little bit more to it because, you know, when we get down to this 513 down here, this is our 9th of May date. You know, here's again, this 5-7 is all to do with completion. You know, 5-7 completion in the 10 column here. It shows up a couple of times. Okay, so completion of the cycle. Again, 5-9. Again, we've got the 713, and then we've got this 139 here as well. Again, this is total here for the 7. I mean, I'm going around in circles, if you follow what I'm saying here, you know, but this is what makes this 53 so important. The 37's in this column, the 29, the 13 or the 31, the start of pi. You know, there's actually a, you know, like Herbert Hoover, the 31st president, and there's a ton of references again with 3 1s with him, tying back to, of course, the Hoover Dam. I think the Hoover Dam was started in 31. I'm not 100% on that. I can't. But yeah, I mean, what else is there to say about this thing? Problem now. I just, you know, let me go back to this. I did something interesting with these numbers, and what I'm going to explain to you now is this idea that Tyre is spelt wrong, and so there's a difference. You know, if you're going to spell it right, it would be Tyre, and we've got Turkey again with 2 different name spellings, and it's a bit like what is going on with the Matrix is that you have a fictional twin with basically the same name. The only difference is they're writing that thing in like Pig Latin, in all caps, or whatever. It doesn't really matter. The idea is it's the same name, but it's not the same name. And this is what we've got going on here with these double sets of names here. So I was like, you know, it'd be interesting to combine these. And so I just talked through them. So for Tyre Nichols, when we combine the first 2, we're getting 301. Again, back to the 31. Okay. When we join these 2, we're getting the 121. Okay. Now 121. Let me show you something with the dartboard on this 121 because it is interesting. And what I will say is that this number here, when you combine these 2, is 122. Okay, and actually this number here is 320. So we've got that 320 reference again with the equinox and on the dartboard as well. And I'm going to show you these 2 references on the dartboard as well. Okay, so let's go to the, where's the dartboard? Here's the dartboard. Okay, so again, with these numbers right here, okay, because with Tyre, they're really promoting this 27th of January with the release date of the video. Okay, and so that ties in with the 713. Okay, when you go across from there, we're up to this 5, and the 5 is the metaphysical, is God, is the spirit, right? What we've got on each side of this 5, okay, is a 1-2 and a 2-1. Okay, the 1-to-1. Okay, on each side of this 5. Okay, so that's interesting. Again, straight up and down on the cross here, we've got the 203. Yeah, connecting back to this 713 number down here. Yeah, and on the other side of the 203, we've got the 122 number. Okay, so this was really interesting. Okay, with those numbers adding up for the 2 different names. You know, we've got the Tyre spelling, which is weird, and then you put the extra E on, and actually it reminds me of Tyree in the it is Tyree, isn't it? In Snatch. I don't know if there's any links there with that character and what's happened. I mean, apart from the obvious that the two guys are black, but I don't know. There may that I mean, it may tie in. I'm not sure. Anyway, if we go to now, where do I want to go to now? Let's go back to the. Hang on. Let's go back to Gematria, and let's do the two turkey ones, right? So this was singing out to me here because this is obviously 209, a 29. Okay, and then we add the 37 and the 28, which is 65, which is the top of our two columns of the metaphysical and the physical. Okay, so that's interesting. And then we had 142. Okay, with this adding up here. So 142, I'll show you 142, and these two added up. This 44 and 35 come to 79. So when we go back to the table, again, we got this 44, yeah, and what did I say? Was it 44 and 30? Hang on a minute. Can't remember what I'm talking about now. Just 2 seconds. It's 44 and 35. Okay. 44 and that's right. Yeah, 44. There's our 35 going across. There's our 44 going across, and those two summed together are giving us this 79 right here. So that was pretty interesting that they're all on this line as well. And then the 42 again, or the 142, 1, 4, 2, again, 1, 3, 7. Okay, 1, 3, 7. Okay, of our, potentially another little deal going on here. So, I mean, I just thought I was fascinated. I don't know why I decided to add those things up, just because it was two spellings of the same name, basically. That's the only reason why I decided to add them up. Well, I wonder what they'll be if they was together. That 29 was kind of, what was going on there was that 29 was kind of, I could already see this 29 here. And just out of interest, I got Pandora's box down here, which is a 129, opening Pandora's box, letting all those ideas out into the world. And the 168, again, Madonna's birthday, Madonna coming out of the Pandora's box. So that's pretty interesting. I don't know why I have that in there really. Interesting though. Where do I throw it into a video? Well, it's in this one now. Anything else? Because this is going to be like an hour long, this video. Blimmin' hell. These number jumps. We covered March 20. We covered the two number jumps. There's a whole bunch more to this. I have to say, you can, look at Tyre Nichols. Here's the 153 again. Yeah. Here's the 171. Yeah, this is again. I mean, the day he gets his beating. I don't know. Look at this. This is interesting as well. That the 63 is repeated for the reduction and the reverse reduction, because if we go to the center of the table, okay, and you divide to get the golden ratio, an approximation of the golden ratio, you take the whatever number, 18, and then you're going to divide it with the preceding number. So 18 divided by 11 actually gives you 1.63, and that's reoccurring. Okay, so it's 63, 63, 63, 63. I just thought it was interesting with Tyre Nichols being a 6363. Okay, so it's encoding the center point again. Okay, the golden ratio within the center point there. What else with those numbers? The 148 and 149 I thought was interesting because of it. Number one, it says the name that they give us, right? So 148, and being the day, one day before, then the day after, just the same as we've got with the reduction. We've got 58, 59. Okay, and of course, when we go back to the table, 58, like that 65 that we had a minute ago. Again, it's referencing these two columns. Okay, and of course the 59, that dreaded date there, maybe a dreaded date, I don't know. Okay, the 9th of May, and I thought was interesting is if you do 1, 4, what was I doing? I can't remember now. 148 and then 149 as well, and then we go down and we look at Lucas numbers because we want to be in the middle again. That gives us 1, 7, 17, 76, Independence, the signing Declaration of Independence, 4/7, Independence Day, 7/4, 1776, Independence, freedom from the system. Okay, encoded with Tyre Nichols, Tyre Nichols. It's just the nuts. I mean, I don't know why I've suddenly started to decide to decode like this now, but as soon as I did that, I'm like, oh my goodness, look at this, it's crazy. Anyway, I don't know what else to say, really. There's definitely something with this line right here and this reflectedness right here, and you can start looking at the numbers that are different, 6 and 7. Again, it's repeated over here in this 9 column. Lots of interesting numbers to do with partial totals here. We're missing a 1 here, we're missing a 1 here. You know what I mean? Here we're not missing a 1 because we've got this, and there's the 35 or 53 of this corner of this L. So I mean, again, that's the cornerstone right there of the L. So an interesting, just so super interesting. I don't know what to say about it really. And again, we got the 143 going across here as well. If we just reduce this 4, reduce those 2 4s back down, the 143 is coming across the middle of there, between the 35. Okay, so a million different ways to decode this thing, but you end up going around in circles and getting some interesting numbers for sure. I think I'm going to leave it there. I don't know if there's anything else I wanted to put in here. That's the same thing there, Dan. What are you doing? Go back to this. Was there anything that I've missed out of it? I can't remember now. I think we've covered everything. Tyre. Tyre is the ring. The ring is pi. Okay, and the again the nickel. 35. Tyre Nickel. Okay, Tyre Nichols is a reference to 35 or 53, which is right here, the cornerstone of this thing. Okay, and then so much references with the 37, with both of these characters, and with the earthquake there. And prayers go out to everybody that's involved in that thing. It just makes, when things like that happen, it's just nuts. I mean, I don't know what to say about it really. I don't know what to say. Anyway, oh yeah, look, here's the 176 here. Okay, we were missing the 1 out of here. Here's the 176 over in the 40. So you see how these numbers just repeat all over the place in this chart. It's pretty, I think it's pretty impressive. What have I forgotten? I'm really just trying to think, what have I forgotten out of here? I just go through these total. I've added some extra totals in. I don't know if people have noticed this, but these ones weren't in here. But I've just added them in because they are significant. And again, we got the 10 completion, a cycle, right? We've got the 5 here. Yeah, we're getting the 5. We're getting the 1. We got the 1 6. This is phi 1.618, etc., etc., etc. So this is important. This 16 or 61, right? Here's the 21. This is kind of why I put it in here. I mean, again, 3 lots of 7 right here is 21. We've got a 3 and a 7 on either end of this column, and it's 21. Okay, 3 7s, 21. And again with the 14, 2 7s. Okay, interesting. Again, 3 6, 36. Again, Diana dies at the age of 36, and again 360 degrees, the completion of the ring. And of course I had 55 and 88 just written down here for those two, and I mean these other ones were in here. But I don't know what else to say. It's just I just put those in there, and it goes the beginning and the end again. 21, okay, 201 that I've been hearing about on other people's channels, the 201, okay. What else? What am I missing here, Dan? What have you forgotten here? That's it. I'm going to leave it there. Otherwise, I'm just going to be waffling. Hope you enjoyed that. Definitely some interesting stuff. Definitely some interesting connections in here. Again, remember, this 37 as well. Right here. Look at the numbers that are surrounding this 37, 33, the 53. Now the 53, the 86, the 86, 68 of this column here of man. Okay, the 18 that is in that column, and of course the 23, which is the mirror of 53. Okay, and again 23 gives you 2/3, gives you 666, and again the number 6 right here. Okay, right here again in this column. Okay, obviously these ones are going to be in the column. The 29, the combination of these two numbers, and here's our 47 of independence. Okay, so I mean super duper interesting with these numbers. And again, that 21, I mean it, again it's pretty important, when you just start looking at this stuff and you're like, well, yeah, I mean, look how that's next to that one and next to that one and all the rest of it, and it's just ever so interesting. Anyway, calling it a day. Yeah, I'm calling it a day. Oh, and it's 2:12 today as well, so that's interesting as well. And we'll see what happens in the Super Bowl later on. Or maybe I'll do a video after the Super Bowl if something interesting happens. Okay, thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. All right, cheers, bye. Alright, boy, I was struggling and I couldn't remember what I was thinking about. And of course, as soon as I turned the video off, I could remember. And the the thing that I wanted to mention was that in that in the coordinates for the epicenter of the earthquake, the 166, okay, so this, but we've got a 16 here that's next to this 173 or 37 equivalent, okay, and again on the other side of this 37 we have a 6. Okay, I just thought it was interesting with the reference to 166. The other reference to 166 as well is this number here flipped, this 199 flipped, and 166 goes with this number to form a full calendar year. So 166 plus 199 is 360. That can't be 360. Yeah, 365 days. Yeah. Okay, so that's 365 days with the 166. The completion again of 1 year, 1 cycle. Okay, with the 166. And again, interesting with this 11 here, getting back to the 11. Okay, the other thing I wanted to mention was, and I'll just draw on over the top of all this lot as well. So that took care of the 166. But the other thing I wanted to mention was, come on, get to the point, Dan. The name, the two names, Turkey and Tyre and Tyree, all kind of having the same letters in them. And I was thinking of Tyre, sounded a little bit like Tyre. You could spell it this way, which is kind of like, because the American way for spelling Tyre, Tire, okay, oh my goodness, okay, and you could anagram that to Tyre, and it does sound a little bit like Tyre, 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 okay, which I thought was interesting because of that, because of the Tyre decode on the dollar bill, which is TIA, okay, and I just thought it was interesting that phonetically speaking, and I believe that, you know, this, I don't know, but phonetically speaking, I was getting that reference as well from Tyre. I was getting Tyre, and again, you could spell Tyre as in a tier of a, I don't know, wedding cake like that, you know, and again, get back to this, you know, so via an anagram, via some phonetics. Just thought it was interesting. Yeah, that was it basically. I just wanted to add that on the end of the video. So anyway, thanks for watching. Right, bye.